Welcome. In front of me is the brand new Xiaomi Poco F6, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so that's basically all we get in a box, and as you can see, it's a pretty well-rounded package. We get a case, cable, and surprisingly, we also get a charger. So Samsung should be taking notes, because bullshit excuses as we care for the environment while producing abundant amounts of devices doesn't really, it doesn't really make sense. So here, props to Xiaomi for continuously including chargers and also cases. They don't need to include a case, yet they do. I would argue chargers should be included with the devices. Now, the device itself has a pretty budget kind of feel to it, which is a bit odd. The plastic back right here just feels much cheaper than I'm used to. Not the best part of the device. We also have a plastic frame, but the rest of the device seems to be packed pretty well with specs. So let's start off with the display. The display right here is an AMOLED display, 68 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10 Plus certification along with Dolby Vision, and a peak brightness of over 2400 nits. Now typical brightness is more in line with like 500 nits, and goes up to like 1200. But yeah, peak can go up to 2400, so that's pretty good. Additionally, it boasts an 89.8% screen-to-body ratio, so we have very minimal bezels all around, and pixel density of about 446 pixels per inch, with a resolution of 1220 by 2712. So pretty good resolution, pretty dense display right here in terms of pixels. And the cover glass right here on the display is a Cornell Gorilla Glass Victus. And additionally, another thing that Xiaomi does include with their devices, which Samsung again should be taking notes, is a little... Actually, never mind. Samsung does include cover on the display. So you can see we have a plastic screen protector, and Samsung for the most part, or at least on the lower end, does include plastic screen protectors pre-applied. I think it's just the flagships that don't really have it, though I could be wrong at this point. But iPhone most certainly doesn't include it. Okay, now flipping it over to the back, we have what looks to be a dual camera setup. Now, I don't have a problem with dual camera setup. They did it nicely. I hate to see just kind of pointless cameras like 2 megapixel macro or depth sensor. They're absolutely useless. So it looks like they didn't include it here, which is a fantastic design. Now, the main sensor right here is 50 megapixel f1.6 wide sensor with PDAF and optical image stabilization. Then below that we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and with those cameras you can record videos at 4K 30 and 60 as well, and 1080p as well, up to 60 frames with slow motion of 120 and 240, and that is with gyroscopic electronic image stabilization. Then at the front in this hole punch, we have a 20 megapixel f2.2 wide sensor, which again allows you to record videos at max 1080p 60 frames, my bad. Now, if we move over to the internals of this device, that's where the device actually picks up even harder with the specs. So 5000 mAh battery, 90 watts charging, then it comes with either 8 or up to 12 gigabytes of RAM. So the base entry of this device comes with 256 and 8 gigs of RAM, and goes up to 512 gigs of storage with 12 gigs of RAM. So basically you get double the storage and a little bit more RAM. That being said, the base entry right here, 256 with 8 gigs of RAM, seems to be a pretty good entry place, which personally, I wouldn't really see a reason to upgrade it to the higher one, because the entry one is already pretty decent. Now, both of those options come with UFS 4.0 storage type, so it means that you will have a pretty decent fast storage, which is important when you're recording videos at higher resolution and higher frame rates. Now, continuing on, the device is being powered by a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, so it's an absolute powerhouse right here. And this is very interesting considering this is priced in a mid-range. This device costs a little over $400. For the price that this costs and what you get internally is freaking amazing. Now, it does have some cost cutting obviously in here, so one of those would be the lack of wireless charging. I personally don't really care about it, especially that we get a pretty good charger. Additionally, things like the build. The build right here is the weakest point of the device, as it is a plastic back, plastic frame. So the device doesn't look premium, but it packs good specifications inside. So that is, in my opinion, more important. Though in terms of longevity, ruggedness of the device, plastic build, it doesn't really give you the best kind of protection to the phone. If you drop it, plastic can crack. It's much more pliable, so hitting it on the concrete when it drops, plastic will bend out of shape. Probably the impact would go to the display, and with this absolute minuscule bezels that we have around here, it might damage the display. So I would recommend obviously keeping the case on, which luckily comes provided with the device, so you can just slap it on there and covers the display pretty well. Gives you also better grip, and it comes with the nice matte gray finish, so again, doesn't really attract fingerprints, as you can see, and also won't get nasty yellowish when compared to these kind of silicone clear cases, which just get disgusting over time. So this is a pretty good case. And like I mentioned, for about $400, this is a fantastic device, as it packs a massive performance in here with the Snapdragon 8s Gen 3. So yeah, this is pretty fantastic device all in all. And Poco devices just tend to basically be best bang for the buck continuously. So same thing was with the X6, and also there was another one. I'm not sure if it was on F5 or something along those lines. But yeah, the Poco lineup seems to be just knocking it out of the park. The devices are cheaper, yet they pack a nice performance inside, and the only thing that you sacrifice is just the build quality. But honestly, I feel like this is a well enough trade-off. I don't care to have super premium looking device, as long as it performs really good and doesn't cost $1,000 or more. So this one obviously checks all the boxes what I would be looking for. Now, with that being said, hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.